And as you arrive in your space now, just let the body kind of relax as much as you can. And just allow yourself to really connect with where the body is today. So just being aware, first of all, being really focused on inhabiting your body. So your mind isn't going to be outside of your body. Your whole awareness is going to be within the physical self to start with. So just being aware of all of those areas of the body that are obvious, usually the front of the body, the chest, the stomach, the face. And kind of just let any tension drain from the front of the body. And just be aware as this tension moves to the sides of the body, if there's any tension, and into the back of the body. And just allow it now to feel heavy in the back of your body. So it's almost like you're letting it release, just letting it go. And just let yourself feel nice and connected with wherever you are physically this morning. So just start to be aware now of your breath and how your breath is impacting your body today. So be aware of how your breath feels as it moves in through the nostrils. How that inhalation feels as it moves down the back of your throat, your windpipe. And just be aware of how it feels as it inflates whichever part of your body it then moves into. So it might be the chest, it might be the stomach. And then just be aware of that point whereby the inhalation turns to the exhalation. Sometimes there's a little pause there as the inhalation then turns to the exhalation. And just follow the journey of that exhalation back out from wherever you felt the breath last, back from the chest, the windpipe, and the nose or the mouth. So I just want you to start to just focus on those inhalations, and we want to try and slow them down a little bit. Send them deep into the body. Be aware of that point where the inhalation turns to the exhalation, and then allow yourself to release that exhalation. So as you start to follow the breath, try to start to lengthen your breath and build that quality of breath. So as you inhale, you are sending your breath deep into your body, and you want to feel expansion wherever you can. You want to feel space being created. Be aware of that point where the inhalation turns to the exhalation, and then allow that exhalation to soften you, to allow you to release, to let go of tension. So really focus on that breath, focus on the rhythm of that breath as it moves in, the point at which inhalation turns to exhalation, and then allowing yourself to focus on the exhalation. So we're going to do a little bit of a balancing breath exercise now that we're fully kind of immersed in the breath. And what we want to do is we want to have our inhalation and our exhalation balanced in terms of timing. So if you're inhaling for the count of 4, try to exhale for the count of 4. And that might mean that you need to just make that inhalation a little bit stronger. And you might need to just push the exhalation and release it a little bit steadier, a little bit quicker, because usually the exhalation's a little bit longer. So we're inhaling for 2, 3, 4, and exhaling for 2, 3, 4. Make sure you've got the whole exhalation release. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. So just keep that rhythm going. And if you feel confident with the rhythm now, we're just going to add a little bit of an extra element into that just to help you release tension a little bit more. So you're going to inhale for the count of 4. When you reach the top of that inhalation, just for a moment, just for a second, retain the breath, hold the breath, and then exhale again for the count of 4. So that little retention of breath is allowing you to feel a little bit of pressure, a little bit of tension. And then the exhalation can allow you to really let everything release, let everything go as you exhale. Just maybe a couple more rounds of this. As you exhale, just allowing yourself to soften again. If the retention doesn't work for you, you can just continue with that balanced breath. And then you can just allow your breath just to return to its normal, natural rhythm. And just start to be really aware of the body again, of allowing that body to release into the ground beneath you. Allowing yourself to find a sense of stillness. Allow yourself just to be within your body now. Be connected with the physical self. And slowly, slowly, we're going to start to move. So you might want to keep the eyes closed for a moment as you start to just move into your hands and your fingers and your wrists. Just taking some circles with the wrist. And then you might want to move into the toes and the feet and the ankles. And then just kind of let the torso relax, just bending both knees, soles of the feet on the floor. And just take the head to look to one side. So you're stretching one side of the neck. Maybe have a little bit of a movement from side to side across the back of the hips. So we're just starting to move gently. And then taking that head back to center, we're just going to take the nose to the other side. And again, just maybe just pushing into each knee. So you're just moving across the back of your hips. And then just bringing the head back to center, let the shoulders relax. And we want a nice long neck. So we don't want a crunched neck. The neck's nice and long, shoulders are released. And we're going to take into the body, take the right leg into the body. Just give that right leg a little bit of a hug. You can either have that left leg bent, or if you want, you can straighten it. You straighten it, just flex the foot so you're nice and strong and stable in your core. Release your left hand onto the floor, and we're just going to take a couple of circles now into that right hip. So these hips, they're always holding on to this emotions and stress. So we just want to just work into it this morning, just loosen it up a little bit in one direction. And then just take that circle back in the other direction. And then just bringing that knee in towards you. So again, that left leg is either straight or bent. And just taking yourself behind the right thigh, and send the right foot up towards the ceiling. And just flex your foot for a moment so you feel a real stretch. Push your lower back into the floor and then lift up with that right foot. See if you can straighten it. It doesn't matter if it kind of moves forward a bit, just looking for a bit of a straight leg. And you can relax the knee a bit. Just take a couple of circles with the ankle in one direction. and then back in the other direction. So we're bringing that right leg in towards us, just bending the left. Just take ourselves into our figure of 4. So taking that right ankle above the left knee. So you're opening the hip. And you might just want to massage into kind of the hip groin area, just to let you release a little bit. And then take your hands out to the side, maybe have a bit of a rock from side to side. Maybe bring the left heel into your bottom a bit more. And then you can come to stillness, and we're just going to lift that left foot off the floor if it feels okay. It might just want to stay on the floor. Keep it on the floor if it wants to stay there. Otherwise, you're bringing the left knee in towards you. You might want to take yourself around the back of the left thigh. Leg goes up towards the ceiling. Maybe flex it. Just feel that stretch. And those of you who want to work into the core, you can release the hands from behind the left thigh. Just have them next to you. Start to push the lower back into the floor. And with that straight leg, releasing it down to the floor. So you're pushing the lower back into the floor. We're coming all the way down. You might want to bend the knee and just release. But wherever we are, we're all going to straighten that left leg. And we're coming to tree on the floor. So as if we're taking that right foot in towards the left thigh. Have a bit of a rock from side to side. Just let that hip release. So you're in tree on the floor, so it might feel nice to inhale, take the arms all the way overhead and stretch into those fingertips, or maybe hold opposite elbows. And you might feel as though the lower back is coming off the floor here. Just have a little wiggle to let that lower back release. Keep the chin so that it's not jutting up towards the ceiling. And kind of a bit of a yin pose here, yin yoga. We're just kind of just letting that right hip release. Just a couple of breaths here. Just letting it go, letting any tension release from it. So if the arms are overhead, we're bringing them back next to us. Just use your right hand just to bend that right knee back up. Bend the left knee. We're going to take all of that to the other side. So just have a little bit of a wiggle from side to side. Just slowly just send the knees from side to side. We're all working into the hips a little bit here. And then we're going to bring the left knee in towards you. So you can either have the right leg straight or you can bend it, entirely up to you. If it's straight, just for a bit of strength in that core, just flexing that toe. Right hand's on the floor. And just starting to take those circles. You're moving from the hip, but the circles come from the left knee. So just think about the range of motion you've got. Really focus on that left hip joint and flexor. Trying to keep both hips equally on the floor, and then just taking that circle back in the opposite direction. So we're starting off nice and gently. We're going to get a little bit more flowy in a minute. So just enjoying moving into your body. Bring that left leg back in towards you. Again, right leg can be straight or bent. And we're just starting to take the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. So we're flexing the foot. You might find the knee is bent here. We want to see if we can straighten that leg. So the foot might come away from the ceiling as you straighten the leg. Mine does. It needs to go out towards the front a bit more. So we've got a nice stretch in the hamstring. With the hands around the back of that left leg, you can just let it relax and just take a couple of circles in one direction. With the ankle, I should say. And in the other direction. And we're just bringing that left knee back in towards us as we bend the right leg. Take the left ankle just above the right knee. And just take a moment now, no pressure on that knee. This is just creating a little bit of space in that left hip. So just maybe taking the hand and just giving yourself a little bit of a massage there. Feels good. We don't want any issues with the knee at all. So anything that doesn't feel right with the knee, just backing off a little bit. Take a little rock from side to side here as well, just to loosen up the back of the body. And we're making sure that chin's not jutting up towards the ceiling. Shoulders are relaxed. So you might want to bring that right heel a bit closer in towards your bottom, and that might be enough for you today. You might want to start to lift that right foot off the floor and bring it in towards you. You can hold the back of the right leg, and that might be enough. You might want to start to straighten out that right leg. Just take a couple of breaths here, just opening up that left hip now. So wherever you are, either with foot on the floor, foot off the floor, or up in the air, just letting yourself just melt into whatever space you've got in the hip. So if that foot is either bent in the air or straight in the air and you want to work the core, you can just push the lower back into the floor, start to really straighten through that right leg, it's quite strong on the lower belly, and then bringing the foot all the way down. And we all come into supine tree now, so bringing the left sole of the foot on the inside of your right thigh or right lower leg. Have a bit of a wiggle here. See if you can remain on the back of your body as equal, as balanced as possible. You'll probably want to move over towards the left side, but see if you can use that strength in your core to keep both hip bones connected. Take the arms overhead if that feels okay, and you can hold opposite elbows. And then just taking those breaths into the left hip flexor. So make sure the chin isn't jutting up again, nice straight spine in the back. And this is like yin pose. So I want you to take your full awareness to that left hip. Just take a few breaths there. And you might find, and I always find this, I'm holding on to tension there. And just by taking the awareness there, it allows me to release that tension. Couple of breaths. Arms can be overhead or out to the side. Make sure the lower back is released. And then you can bring the hands down next to you, just using your right hand just to bring the knee up towards the ceiling. Let's all just take a little bit of a hug with the legs in towards us. So just take those legs in towards you, knees towards the armpits. Just take a couple of circles with the knees. Take them in opposite directions, just to see, because we're kind of moving into the hips a little bit more here. So taking them in opposite directions. Keeping the back of the body connected, so you're still working your core. And then just bring those knees in towards you. Take a deep breath in. And those of you who feel nice and strong in the core might want to just lift your head up so your forehead touches your knees. And you can feel a bit of engagement in the core. You might want a little rock from side to side here across the back, if that feels okay. Shoulders relaxed. Make sure that face feels nice and soft. And then we're going to release the head first of all, and then the leg. And just take a little roll over onto your side. Take a nice couple of breaths in and out, and then slowly come up to seated. So let's just move to find ourselves connected with the breath now. So we're going to take the hands next to us, and we're going to sit nice and straight up through the body. So really feel like you're lifting from your core. Make sure you've got room next to you as you inhale your arms all the way up. And you might want to look up here, and we exhale the hands to the heart center. And we're going to interlace the hands and push them forward and send the chin to the chest now. So you're rounding your back. Push into those arms. And then inhaling, taking the arms all the way overhead. Again, you might want to look up towards the hands. Exhale, take them behind you and interlace them. Inhale, look up. And then exhale, take the chin to the chest again. Inhale, looking all the way up again. Take a big inhalation to take the arms overhead. And then we're going to exhale, go over to the right side. So just think about, again, pushing that left hip into the floor so you can feel a nice big stretch down the side of the body. And let's take a little loop, little circle. So we're going to circle forwards. Take that arm all the way up. Kind of move back on yourself, so you're stretching back, and then take it all the way back round again. So reaching in front of you, just finding a bit of movement there. Inhale, both arms overhead. Exhale, taking that stretch over to the left side, push the right sit bone into the ground. So from the waist, we're starting to kind of look down towards the floor, just stretching all the way into the hips, all the way round. Take the arm overhead, kind of looking up, and then take it all the way back again. So move however feels nice for you here. Just moving into those hips. Arms coming all the way overhead. Lovely. Exhale, just release those hands to your heart center. Release them maybe onto your knees. Give yourself a little bit of a roll of the shoulders in one direction and then the other. And then we're going to come onto all fours. So when you're ready, just coming onto all fours. So moving so the knees are underneath the hips, nice wide fingers. So you're not just having your weight on your wrists, which is what a lot of us do. You want to kind of have the weight so it comes into the fingers. So we'll just do a little experiment here. So the wrists don't have to be under the shoulders. They can be a bit further forward because that's a better angle for your wrists. And I just want you to take your weight forward now. So you're just starting to straighten your legs and you can look forward. And just take the weight more into the fingers and off the heels of the hands. So there's a little back bend. And then we're just going to take the hips backwards now. And you might find that the hips touch the heels. They might not. Just taking the head to the floor. So we're going to do that one more time. Inhale, coming forwards, just taking your weight forward, starting to straighten the legs a bit, opening up, maybe the shoulders come together. And then if it's on an exhalation, great. Take the body back again. Hips might come all the way down, they might be up a bit higher. Forehead to the floor. Coming on to all fours now, and let's move into some nice strong cat-cows. So we're inhaling and exhaling as we move, but you can choose where your inhalation and your exhalation come. So your inhalation might not come on your cow, it might come on your cat. But just try to make the most of sending the breath wherever it feels most comfortable. And as you move into your cat-cow, you might just start to take the hips forwards and backwards like we were doing. So you're kind of moving across the whole of the hands. For some of you, it might get a little bit deeper. So you might be kind of taking yourself almost to complete child pose. And then almost taking the weight forwards into kind of strong cobra upward dog. Do what feels good. This is your cat-cow, so if you just want to keep it along the center line of the body, do so. And then just taking some circles in both directions with the hips. So again, that might involve you coming forwards. Do what feels good. Remember, it's your body. So you just need to be attentive to what it needs this morning. So coming all the way back onto all fours. Find stillness for a moment. So if you need to do anything with the wrists for a moment, just give the wrists maybe a couple of little circles because it's been a bit cold. Sometimes that can make the wrist a bit stiff. So just move into the fingers and the wrist, just on one hand, give it a shake. And then just taking just some circles, move into the fingers, give it a shake on the other. Nice wide fingers now. We're going to come into our first downward dog. So let's take it slowly so we work into the core, lifting the knees, just hovering them off the floor, nice broad shoulders. Weight is evenly distributed across those hands again, remember. Keeping the knees bent, send the tailbone high. Head comes in between the upper arms and then just pushing into those legs. So pushing into your feet. Take, as you push your feet, as you step them out, take the feet as wide as the mat. Maybe bend both knees and then take the feet to hip distance again. Going to have a little twist in our downward dog now. So just for a moment, just find a nice strong position. We're taking the right hand over onto the left ankle or left side of the leg. Look under the left armpit if you can, suck that belly in. Lovely, release the hand. Let's take the twist to the other side. So left hand onto the left wrist, look under the right armpit, sorry, left hand onto the right ankle, look under the right armpit. Send the hips high. And then release. Going to take ourselves into a low lunge now. So we're inhaling the right leg up, take a nice big stretch first of all, point the toe. And then slowly, slowly, we're going to walk it through. So don't worry how you get here. Just arrive with that right foot at the front of the mat. Release your knee. You can flex the toes if you like. Some people get cramp a little bit in the toes. You can have those back toes flexed if you like. And just think about just moving forward. So we're going to have a little rock now. We're just going to take the weight back and forwards. Exhale as you come back. Inhale forwards. Open the chest. Look up. Exhale. And then inhaling, taking the arms overhead. Reach up and sink down. Lovely. So just holding it here in your low lunge. That right leg is leading. And then just releasing the hands. So we're just going to move into a twist. We're going to inhale as we open up. Exhale, release the hand. Inhale, open up. Exhale, release the hand. Two more of these. Towards the right side, towards the bent leg. Inhaling, opening up. Exhale, release. Then the last one. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely. Coming back up to lift your lunge nice and high. And just place the hands so the palms are facing forward. Just bend the elbows now so you're opening your chest as well. Looking up if you can, push the hips forward. Take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, let's take lots of length in the spine as we come onto the floor. Tuck the back toes. If you want to come to plank, come to plank. Otherwise, take half plank. Stay nice and strong here. And we're going to move slowly onto the floor. So coming down so the chest, chin, forehead is on the floor. Just release everything when you arrive. And we're going to move into those shoulders, really opening the heart space. So just swimming the arms forwards, bringing them behind you to interlace them. Shoulder blades come together, pushing the pubic bone into the floor with an inhalation, lifting up. You might be able to take the hands away from the bottom. 3 breaths here. Releasing back down to the floor. Coming onto all fours, we're going to push ourselves back again into child pose. Coming back onto all fours, tuck in the toes. Coming up into your dog. Take a little walk of your dog now. And then coming to stillness, let's lift up that left leg, taking it to the front of the mat, releasing the right knee and the right toes. Just think about lengthening forwards first of all. So there's a little inclination here just so you kind of let yourself hang out on that front leg. But think about lifting up through that front leg. So let's find length in the spine, inhaling, reaching up, exhale, just sink into those hips. So just finding a bit of stillness here. And then moving forwards, hands coming on the floor, and we're just taking that little movement. So just moving into the hips again, forwards and backwards. So you're straight, you don't need to straighten the leg, but as you inhale, come forwards, inhale, open the chest. Exhale. Some of you might be straightening the leg. Lovely. We're just going to take it nice and high again on an inhalation and then reaching down to the floor. So that front knee is bent. We're going to start to take the twist to the left side. Inhale 4 of these, reaching up. Exhale, release. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, releasing. 2 more. Remember to move from the middle back. Lovely. When you've taken 4 in total, one last big stretch overhead. Find the length in that spine. Push the hips forwards. Hands coming down. Tuck the back toes. And we're either coming into plank or half plank. Lower yourself down however you want to. We're moving into another variation of Shalabhasana. So we're going to take the legs so that they're wide, about mat distance apart. Hands behind you. Palms can face up or down, depending how you feel. Again, push the pubis bone into the floor. Lift and lengthen, first of all, through the upper body and arms. And then the legs can follow if you like. We're holding this here for 3 breaths. Shoulder blades together. Let the face be soft. If it's too much on the lower back, just using the upper body and thinking about lifting, not just crunching into that lower body. Releasing the hands to the floor. Again, if we've done a back bend, we're just coming up onto all 4s, taking yourself back into child pose or a little stretch for the back. Could be puppy pose for some of you. And then planting the hands, coming up onto your downward dog. 3 deep breaths in and out here. When you've taken 3 breaths in and out, you can take a big step or little steps up to the front of the mat to find a half lift. So before we go for a full forward fold, finding a half lift. Feet can be hip distance apart, toes can be together, legs, feet nice and spread with the heels apart. Finding that half lift, lengthen forwards, crown of the head comes forwards. Deep breath in. You might want to bend the knees now as we take the crown of the head down towards the floor. Three breaths. Plant the feet into the floor, come into half lift. Let the shoulders relax, let the jaw be soft. Take the hips back. So you're sending the hips back, but trying to keep the weight into the whole of the feet. Take the arms overhead, reach up. Look up maybe. If the shoulders aren't tight, you can take the hands together for 2, 3, 4, 5, lovely. Inhale, take the arms overhead. Reach up, take a big stretch. Bring the head to look forward. Let's take a nice full body stretch. So you're coming all the way up onto your tiptoes, find a drishti. And then releasing the hands, releasing your feet. Give yourself a little bit of a roll of the shoulders. And we'll move through a nice traditional sun salutation sequence before we come into some more quite nice strong hip opening exercises. So let's move with the breath and move slowly, but every movement, just because it's slow, it doesn't mean it isn't strong. So feet come to about hip distance apart. And just lengthen through your spine. Your chin is parallel with the floor. And let's take a really big deep breath in. Take those arms wide, reach up. Bring the hands to heart center. Inhaling again, taking the arms overhead. And then bending the knees, folding all the way forwards. Lovely. Have a bit of a wiggle down here. And we're sending the right leg back. We're not going to release the knee this time. We're just going to lengthen forwards. So just have a little bit of a movement forwards and backwards. Find the stretch in the back of the leg. And send that right leg as far back as you can. When you arrive in that nice strong lunge, release the hands. Come into plank. So your nice 2 big straight lines. Some of you might want to release the knees and be half plank. But we're coming down through knees, chest and chin. And then let's take a cobra. So some people's cobras will be here because the lower back might need a little bit more opening. So just working on that. Other people's cobras will be here. So wherever you are, find that cobra. Take a nice deep breath in. And then we're coming back into our downward dog. So arriving your downward dog, deep breath in. Inhale the right leg to the front of the mat, taking that lunge again. So again, just taking those movements forwards and backwards. You might take the front heel off the floor. That's why it's a little bit of a flow today. Lengthening forwards. Push into that back heel. You might take it further back a little bit. And then use your body weight to move forwards into forward fold. We're inhaling the arms all the way overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Releasing the hands. Let's move through that again. So doing those hands first of all. Make sure that the bottom isn't stuck out, because that sometimes will make the lower back feel a bit tight. So just making sure that your pelvis is neutral and your legs are strong. Hands come next to you. Lengthen through the spine. Inhaling, arms all the way up, looking up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, taking the arms up again. And exhale, folding forwards. Crown of the head to the floor, taking the left leg back. As far as it can go, can that right knee go over the ankle? Maybe taking some movements here. Try not to have the torso sort of balance weighted on that right foot. Lengthen forwards. And then finding your plank or your half plank. And then moving through knees onto the floor. Keep strong in the core as you take chest and chin down. And then coming into your back bend, wherever that is today. It's kind of about there for me. Yours might be more or less. Deep breath in, into your downward dog. Inhale the left leg up, front of the mat. Left knee is over the ankle. Move forwards and backwards. Maybe you're taking that right foot back even more so you find more of a stretch. Lengthening through your chest, opening the chest, opening the shoulders. Find stillness and then stepping forwards into your fold. Inhaling the arms all the way up. Exhale them down to the heart center. Lovely. So we're going to take a big step back now with your right foot. So don't take any notice of what sides I'm doing. Just kind of take the right foot back so that the side of the foot is parallel with the long side of your mat, and the front toes are towards the front of your mat. Spine's lengthened, arms up at shoulder height. So let's inhale, take the arms overhead, so you take the wrists together, and as we exhale, take those arms back to shoulder height, bend your front knee, and feel as though you're pushing that inner thigh out to the side. You're in your warrior two. Have a little look at the knee. Is it too far over that ankle? If it is, you can creep the feet forwards. Take that stretch again, so you've got stretch in the spine, and then bending that front knee again, look over the fingertips. So let everything relax. Give the shoulders a little bit of a roll. And let's reverse that warrior now. So we're going to take the hand behind you, so that'll be the right arm. Take it all the way behind you. If you can, hold on to the left hip. If not, just take it down the right leg. Left palm towards the ceiling. Lift up. You might then want to take the head to look at that back heel. Keep that back heel pushed into the floor. And then inhale, we're coming back to warrior one to move it into extended side angle. So keep pushing that back hip into the back heel, reaching forward, hand can come onto your thigh. For some of you, it might come onto the floor. Coming onto my thigh today. We're reaching up first of all. Let's find lift here. And then from the shoulder, taking that rotation, if it feels okay, to take the arm all the way over the shoulder. Keep pushing the hips forward so you're not leaning forward into this. You're opened in the chest. Push into that back foot now, coming all the way back up into your warrior. Straighten that front leg. Let's lengthen the spine again. Arms overhead so you're not leaning forward. Bringing them back to shoulder height and taking both toes to the side of your mat. So toes now, we're going to come at 10 to 2 because we're going to find a lovely strong goddess. So we're going to take the arms overhead and bring them to your heart center and just start to sink into that goddess. Again, think about pushing those thighs away from each other. Roll your shoulders here. And breathe. Tailbone towards the ground. Try not to lean forwards. Lovely. So push into those feet and we're coming all the way up. Take the hands on the hips, both feet towards the front of the mat. And then we're going to take a nice stretch forward. So arms are coming overhead. We're going to take this slowly. We're going to hinge from the waist and reach forwards as though you're reaching in front of you. So look down towards the floor here and really find lift and length from the spine. And then release the hands down to the floor. Bend the knees a little bit. Maybe you want to take the feet a bit further apart. Feet are equally distributed on the floor. Try to have the feet so the toes are pointing towards the side of the mat, not at 10 to 2. And then release your head. Let the shoulders relax. Be a little bit passive here. Just let any tension release from you. And then we're going to walk the hands over to the left ankle. And just start to think about just sending your torso, your body over the left leg. For 1, we're doing 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lovely. Taking the hands back to center. We're going to find length again. If you can, if there's strength in your core, take the arms forward again. Find that length in the spine. Feet connected with the ground. Legs are strong. Release the hands. Let yourself be passive for a moment. Let everything kind of hang. And then walk the hands over to the other side, to the right side. Take a deep breath in. And then we're folding over that right leg. So it's almost like a twist as well. We're trying to get the belly over the thigh. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Coming back to center. Lengthen forwards. Engage the core as we reach forwards and we come all the way up. Lovely. Hands come to shoulder height. Now we're going to lead with the right toes. So right toes might be going towards the back of your mat now. So we're going to move through that warrior sequence. We're going to inhale the arms so they come overhead. And we're going to exhale, bend the knee, come to warrior 2. Looking over your front fingertips. Trying not to lean forwards here. Spine is nice and upright. And give the shoulders a bit of a roll. If you need a bit more space, straighten the front leg and just creep those toes forward. Arms overhead again and re-bend to the front knee. So reversing our warrior, left hand either comes on the back of left leg or take it all the way around onto your right thigh. Right hand towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach up with that right hand, look up, find the length, and then you can look towards that back heel, keep the back heel connected. Inhale, coming back to warrior as we take it into extended sides. So there's a few variations. Just find length first of all. We're pushing back through the back hip, hand coming on the knee. This is your first one. Stay open here. You might want to look up, you might want to look down. Some people will have that hand on the floor. Try not to have it so that you're leaning forwards. Stay open if the hand is on the floor. If it feels okay in the shoulder, we're bringing that over the air and holding it here. Lovely, remembering to breathe. I'm holding onto the wall, it's so nice for support. Keep that leg open. And then push into the back leg, coming all the way back up again. So again, toes facing the side of the mat. We're going to come into another fold. So we're going to take this fold really nice and gently. Just bend, a little bit of a bend in the knees. Arms come overhead. And we're just going to allow ourselves, bring hands to heart center to swan dive forward. So just let yourself come now to swan dive forward. Let the head hang. Feet connected with the ground. And you might want to just walk the hands forwards a little bit. So you're kind of on all fours And just move a little bit from side to side into those shoulders. Maybe a bit wider. And then just starting to bend each knee. So bending the right knee, bending the left knee. Take it a bit deeper if you want to. Just take it as deep as feels nice. And then you can just let yourself come back to center and release to the ground. So knees might be bent now. In fact, we're just going to take those feet a little bit further in together. So they're a little bit more than hip distance. We're bending the knees, letting the head hang. And then find ragdoll. So hold opposite elbows. So when you're in your ragdoll, just hanging, you're not holding on to anything in the neck or the head or the shoulders, just letting it release. And then release those hands and just start to kind of roll up the spine. So just give yourself a little bit of a wriggle as you roll all the way up the spine. And take a big stretch when you arrive. So the arms come overhead. And to the heart center. Let's take a nice strong tree. So hopefully that fold will just let everything have calmed down. And before you take your balance, just make sure first of all you're not on uneven ground. So if you want to hop off your mat or find somewhere that's fairly even, then do so. Sometimes it's harder on carpet if you're on carpet. And let's just move through nice strong feet and legs. And then find a neutral pelvis, so the tailbone's almost like it's towards the floor. But it's not, but it kind of feels like that. You've got your lower belly engaged. Let your shoulders relax, but your spine's lengthened. So let's first of all just start to balance on the left leg. And we will bring the knee forwards to start with, and this might be enough for you. Toes on the floor might be enough for you. Find a drishti, find somewhere to focus on so that the mind and the eyes are still. And then take that right foot to wherever it feels comfortable. It might be the upper leg, it might be lower leg. Now, instead of just pushing the knee out to the side to open the hips, kind of again, engage the lower kind of bottom area to push it down towards the floor. And that'll open the hips a bit more than just opening that knee. Take the arms overhead if that feels okay, or you can take them at heart center. Reach into your fingertips. It's okay to sway here. I am. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let those shoulders relax. Hands can come to heart center. And then with control, if we can bring the knee in front of us, and then release the knee. Give yourself a little bit of a movement. Try not to lose the focus though. And we'll take that to the other side. So strong legs. Neutral pelvis, engaged core. Let's balance on the other leg. It might be an easier leg, it might be more difficult. Find a focus. Knee come in front of you, it's okay if the toes are on the floor. And then see wherever your tree is today. I've always been told to push the toes in first and then let the heel release if it's the upper leg. Pushing your hips forward. If you want to take the arms overhead, then you can. Holding it here. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lovely. Feels good, doesn't it? Just to have that balance. And then release the foot. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. That was the best my balance has been since this lockdown. So, and I've been doing this every day. So if yours wasn't great, eventually it will come. We're going to come down onto the floor again now. So if you need to make any kind of movements now, any stretches, any side stretches, any forward folds, any little back bends, roll the shoulders back, do whatever you need to do. We're just going to come back down nice and gently. So we're just going to come down however feels comfortable for you, nothing too energetic. So just coming to sit first of all over your feet and just letting the feet come out to the side. So just still having a little bit of a wiggle into the hips. And again, we're just going to move ourselves forward. So if you can, take the elbows over the sides of your shins. And we're just going to take a little bit of a movement from side to side and just let your head then just release down to the floor. Again,
Rock from side to side if you want to. Oh, and take 3 deep breaths in and out here. So as you inhale, you're kind of inflating your lungs.
Taking all that space into your body. And as you exhale, you might want to sigh it out. Just let it go.
You might want to take more than 3. Let the face be soft, let the jaw be soft.
And then from here, we're just going to roll back up the spine. Just roll those shoulders. Bring the knees so that they are, soles of the feet are on the floor. Give yourself a little bit of a hug.
Release the forehead to the knees if you can. Round your back. And then we're coming all the way up first of all.
And as we come up, hands come in front of us. This might not be for everyone, so you can use your hands if you want to. Otherwise, we're really rounding that back, sucking the belly in, come in all the way down. Taking one leg in towards you. The head is on the floor, neck's nice and long. Release that leg. Taking the other leg in towards you. Releasing that leg. Setting ourselves up for a little bit of a dynamic bridge before we come into our twist to finish off. So while you're down here now, you might just want to get yourself all prepped up for when you can do your final Shavasana. You might want to get your props around you, your sweater around you, your socks. We're going to do a dynamic bridge. So we're going to bring the heels not completely close into the bottom, somewhere comfortable, maybe a little bit further away. Try to keep the knees above the ankle area, so don't let them splay out. We can use the pelvic floor muscles as well here. Back is nice and straight. Feet planted into the ground. Feels like I'm pushing my knees towards the front of my mat, or the back of my mat, wherever I'm there. And we're going to push the lower back into the floor, starting to engage the core. Lift the pelvic floor and take the hips up on an inhalation. You might even take the arms overhead. Make that inhalation long, and as we exhale, we release everything back down to the floor. So this is about you really lengthening the inhalation and the exhalation. We're going to take 5 more of these. So I want you to think first of all about how you move, how you push the lower back into the floor as you're coming up, lift the pelvic floor, and then as you exhale, rounding through each and every vertebrae. So I'm pushing my lower back into the floor, lift my pelvic floor, lifting, 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 curling up the spine. That's 3. Just 3 more for you now. Those nice, long, deep breaths. You're opening up, bringing energy into your body, especially if the arms are going overhead as you inhale. As you exhale, it's almost like a squeezing out. For the last 2, you might want to bring the knees right in towards you as you exhale everything out. Squeeze everything out. Last 2, inhaling, coming all the way up. See if the breath does last that long. Might have done more than 5 or 6 here, but this is kind of quite a good one. Maybe bringing the head up to the knees. And the last one, lift that pelvic floor, take it high. Long exhalation, release the knees. Hands come out wide, have a little bit of a move from side to side. Do however you want to do this. Take your legs over to one side. You can cross the leg over, you can straighten it out. Do whatever you want to do. This is your twist to finish. You might want to take the nose over to the other side. Letting everything slow down, letting everything release. So anywhere you're feeling tightness, kind of letting that release again. And then bring the knees back up to center. And then you can take them into the other direction. And then take those knees back to center. Make whatever movements you need to make, hugging the knees in towards you, moving into the arms, having a bit of a rock from side to side. Do whatever you need to. And then start to find your final Shavasana, wherever that might be. So it might be with knees bent. It might be with something under the knees. Make sure your neck is nice and long. Let's take the energy of the universe, palms facing up. If you need to take a couple of deep breaths in and out, then just taking those breaths in and out, and then just let yourself settle. And I'm just going to be quiet and let you be. I don't really want your mind to wander yet into the outside world. Try to keep it focused on your body or your breath or the sensations in your body. But just be aware of your senses, the time in which you are. Be completely present, just for a couple of minutes. So from that place of being completely present with your breath, your body, every part of you, without letting the mind run off, just start to take a couple of longer, deeper breaths into the body. And almost like the sunlight, as you take this breath in, just visualize bringing energy into your body for the day ahead. Visualize expanding as you inhale, allowing yourself to grow, allowing your soul to grow. Take that breath in. And when you've taken a couple of those really nice long breaths in, then maybe thinking about moving in fingers, in toes, in wrists, in ankles. And taking a nice big stretch overhead. And then you might want to just bend the knees. You might want to stay on your back and finish your practice here, which is fine. Or you might just want to roll over onto the side, come up to seated. Take a moment of stillness in your seated position. Hands can go where you like. One option is knees or lap. You might want to feel the breath and your heart space. So you might take one hand on your heart chakra and one on your solar plexus. That's quite nice sometimes, just to really feel where you are. Just take that moment of stillness before you think about any of the chaos again. And then we can close by taking hands to our heart center. You can close your practice however you see fit. Thank you very much for joining me this morning, everyone. I'm just going to unmute everyone.